hot, hot. Hello everyone. It's a cold rainy day. I brewed my Earl Grey. That rhymed. Today I'm really excited because we're going to be making Anise cookies, which were my favorite cookies my grandma used to make. I would eat so many of them every time I would visit her at Christmas. Let's make my favorite cookies. So for this recipe, the only 4 things you need are flour, powdered sugar, 2 eggs, and this says anise oil, but I'm just using anise extract. So first things first, you're gonna take your 2 large eggs, crack them into a bowl. This will be your main bowl, and beat them. That was 1, 2. That's all done. Now that my eggs are all beaten, I'm gonna add 1.5 cups of powdered sugar slowly to the eggs. Okay, now that everything is covered with powdered sugar, we're just gonna slowly add this in. Alright, now that there's no lumps and bumps, we're gonna move on to our next step. The recipe calls for 1 drop of anise oil, but I'm just going to use half a teaspoon of anise extract. Now anise, if you have never had it, you probably have tasted it before. It's kind of that black licorice taste. The thing is, I don't really like black licorice at all, but in this cookie, it's really mild and delicious, so this is like the only form of anise I like. Now we're gonna add our cup and 1 tablespoon of, it says sifted flour. I'm not gonna do that today. Am I gonna sift this? I should sift it. I hate sifting because it just seems like a waste of time. I know it's supposed to make it so it's not lumpy, but I hate cleaning this. But Grandma said sift, so we're gonna sift. Cool. All right, flour's all over the counter now. You're done with it. To clean up a little bit before my mom gets home. The batter is by nature very loose, kind of like pancake batter. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a piping bag, a Ziploc bag, and drop quarter-sized dollops on this sheet about like 1 inch apart so they don't run into each other. I'm using this trick where you put the piping bag inside of a cup so you can fill it easy. I'm using a Green Bay Packer cup because my grandma loved them. Something to know about my Grandma Donna is she was a very proud Packer fan. She had like all the Packer stuff. Bobbleheads, figurines, lamps, any season, all decorations. It was in her house. If you're wondering why I didn't tell you to preheat your oven already, it's because the anise cookies are kind of like macarons, and you let them sit for a little bit so they can get a skin on them. So there's 1 pan. I forgot how many cookies this makes. When I was away at college, this was one of my favorite bakes to do because as long as I had anise, I could do it. And none of the ingredients besides the extract is really expensive. So if you want a cheap bake and you don't hate black licorice, I would give it a try. Or even if you think you don't like black licorice, try these. Because one thing I learned, especially after going to college, is my opinions of food are trash and they change. Tray 2 done. Enter tray 3. I'm sure anyone who has actually ever piped anything in their life is just looking at my hands and screaming internally. So here's one tray, a second tray, and a third tray. Ooh, all the cookies. Now that our cookies are all piped and ready and sitting on their various trays, the recipe says to let them sit for 12 hours. I'm not gonna do that because I'm impatient. When I made these at college, I let them rest maybe an hour, 2 hours. If that made the cookies not as good, I couldn't tell the difference. Even though I'm in quarantine and time is very expendable right now, I think I'm just gonna wait until I can see that they formed a skin, and then I'm just gonna pop them in the oven. I'll see you guys later when these guys are ready to go in the oven. So this is what the cookies look like right after I pipe them. And these are the cookies about 4 hours later. And I don't know if you can tell, but they've kind of turned matte, you know? So these are our cookies 4 hours later. We're gonna now put them in a 300-degree oven for 18 minutes. I guess we're gonna see if all of them can fit, yeah? So not all of my trays fit in the oven at one time. I should have tested that out before. So I'm gonna have to do the batches separately. After all of the cookies are done, I'll show you how they all turned out. Cookies are now out of the oven. I don't know if you can hear it, but they're like crackling as they cool, and it's really awesome. They look just like they're supposed to. I don't know if you can see, pardon my janky nails, but like how they're kind of like I was saying, the skin makes it so they have a foot on them. So let's try it. Just so good and delightful. Like, I'm definitely gonna eat all of these with my tea at once. These kind of came out the consistency a little harder, kind of like Nilla wafers. But still really good. That's it for me. If you want to try this recipe yourself, everything you need will be in the description box below. They're super easy to make, super quick, besides the whole resting period, and they're really no fuss and anyone can do them. Yeah, thanks for joining me. Bye.